It's just been amazing to build this with Ali, and it's been so good that how he stepped up. He's shooting at the moment, and when we discovered we were pregnant, though Ali never says she's pregnant, he says we are pregnant. I feel really happy about that. And when we discovered that this was the case, and 2 months into it, I was like, listen, the show is releasing now. I'll be promoting for 40-45 days. I'll go insane. And he was like, what's the insanity? I said, the insanity is also having to look good on a morning on which I wake up bloated. I had such a terrible 20s. Like, I was so insecure. And not just, I think people around me also made me insecure. Because, I think a lot of people, like including female friends, which is why I don't buy this like fake sisterhood notion. I really don't. I mean, feminism is not about thinking that women are not capable of evil and malice.
Sure.
I think like when you're that young, when you're like 23 or 24, and you're going to Cannes to be fated as Nagma Khatun in this cult film, what was to become a cult film later. I feel like a lot of people put you down because they want you to be pigeonholed. There are so many women in a bodycon dress. Someone will say, oh, she's looking pregnant. It could be just the choice of the woman to wear it that day. Maybe she had too much soya the night before. What if the woman has a genuine fertility problem? I always think that someone is not able to conceive naturally or is going through something like a process of IVF or something. There's so many options today. They should never feel like any less. Like what the US press did to Jennifer Aniston, for instance. I think it's cruel. So that's what I didn't want. I didn't want any speculation, not because of anything, but it sort of creates a trend. First day, I wasn't getting it. And after like 30 or 40 takes to do the drunk dancing, I thought, chalo, let me have a quarter and see what happens. So I did have some, I think I had some gin. I'm being perfectly honest, I did drink a little bit, but it made things worse.
Hello everybody, I'm Rudrani and I'm so excited to be doing this. It's a Mother's Day special show. Letters to My Mom is a show where we celebrate women who are fearless, who have stories to share and so much more. My guest today is a woman who's phenomenal. Besides being extremely talented, she has always spoken her mind, stood by what she believes in, and she's extremely gorgeous. Of course, talking about Richa Chadha. Hello, thank you for joining in.
Thanks, Rudrani.
I appreciate that you took out time.
No, also because the last time we met, we were in a group and there's lots of other people. You can't really have a long, fulfilling conversation then.
Yes, we absolutely can't, and I'm very, very excited. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been phenomenal to see the kind of responses that you've been getting right now. Like, we'd like to say it's the world of Lajjo and we've been living in it for a while since we've seen you in Heeramandi.
Thank you.
Have the reactions, have the discussions, have the analysis settled in now, since I know you've also checked out. You're somebody who likes to know and likes to know on people critiquing her work.
Oh yeah, but I mean I haven't read reviews because I don't read reviews. But yeah, from the reaction from within the fraternity, it's been very positive. Friends have liked it a lot, which means a lot to me. I always look forward to, there are some actors I really respect, so I'm like, please watch it and let me know. So things like that have been really, really good. And generally overall social media chatter has also been, I mean I knew the apprehensions would always come, questions would be asked about the length of the role and why I chose this in particular. But you know me, I don't view my career like the others, so I've always made these off choices and I wanted to do something that was so vulnerable, like a raw wound, you know, that leaves that impact, and it comes right at the beginning. So I knew that you can't miss it. Like, it's not something you're going to forward and move on from.
No, no, 100%. You put that post, post the release on Instagram, where you obviously said that, where you mentioned that, I was offered another role, but I chose to do this. And I did this because I've always done empowered roles. I wanted to challenge myself.
And empowered and grey also, so there was nothing new for me. I would have done those also really well. I would have put my life and soul in this. Maybe there was an off song in there which was whatever, but then it doesn't have the same punch.
Heartbreaking, I know it was, but I think it must be devastating to put yourself in her shoes.
Yeah.
Especially because, you are an absolutely opposite person in that sense of it.
But that's why it's fun actually.
Exactly.
If you keep, if the character you play is not so diverse from you that it makes you uncomfortable, then it's not so fun. Like here, I love the delusion. I love this artificial world she's created. I loved her dependence on alcohol. I just love, I actually did. I'm not a big drinker. I'm the person who's like the designated driver if other people have had a really fun night. So I've observed people around me always drunk, and that helped me so much in this portrayal. And addiction for women in this kind of a setup is something that I really wanted to explore.
You were apparently were shooting this right after you got married, if I'm not wrong.
No, thoda right before.
Right
mostly.
Before you got married.
Right before. The song, particularly my solo song, I shot it maybe 15 days before the wedding.
Right, 15 days before you were heading into it.
I freaked out because their dates had changed, and so I was like, we've put up this set, but do you think you can do it? I was like, oh, I can do it, but I was so afraid that he's going to change his mind, and if we do it in Jan or something, and I was so, because I was also shooting Fukre 2, and our first film was on the floor, Girls Will Be Girls. So it was a chaotic time for me in my life. But I was like, okay, let's do it. I take it as a challenge. Let's go. If I had my way, I would have loved to, because just like a few months before the shoot had to happen, I took just get the body language right. I reconnected with Kathak, which I had learnt as a child. So just to get back into the groove, and because it should be like driving. If someone has grown up in this culture, whether they are breaking down, the steps can't go wrong. Like it's like you can be crying, but you know when to shift a gear. So I wanted that kind of naturalness. My only regret is that if we had shot it thoda aage, then I would have gotten a few more months. That's it. Like after the wedding or whatever. Because a lot of questions are being asked, how are you crying and dancing? I was like, because we are trained, it makes a difference.
But can you imagine doing that, and then you go into the wedding and then you come back? How does that happen? I know you will say that's what actors are supposed to do, but I know that it's not that easy. I mean, you have to eventually train yourself for that, but and also because this is not like a very happy character, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, the pain, the pathos and the sadness of a so sweet.
Sorry.
See, my driver is offering me oranges. Nahi, thank you.
So cute.
They're all taking care of me.
Yes.
That's very sweet.
Including
you fed me as soon as I came.
No.
There was also 2 dim sums on my plate, guys, which are no longer there.
We are going to be eating. I came to know that you like something in this restaurant, so I'm like, how can we not?
Yes, thanks for feeding a pregnant lady. God bless you.
We're going to talk a lot about that later, but first, as you were telling me.
So the thing is, I never do method because I feel like I anyway get so involved that I can't do method. I would totally go insane. Like I can safely say that every scene that I've done for this show, and I know there aren't so many, I was 100% into it. Like there was no aspect of me which was, I was not distracted while giving cues also to someone else. I was not out of character even when I was dancing, whether it was Sakalban or the other song. So it took a lot from me, but I loved it.
I know a lot of actors say that, oh, we have to take like a little bit of the alcohol to be in it, or for someone who doesn't drink at all. and who does not believe in that kind of a method.
No, no, I'll tell you, to be fair, for the first day, I wasn't getting it. And after like 30 or 40 takes to do the drunk dancing, I thought, chalo, let me have a quarter and see what happens.
Yeah.
So I did have some, I think I had some gin. I'm being perfectly honest, I did drink a little bit, but it made things worse. I didn't want that lethargy in the body movement. I wanted some of that. Maybe the precision can go, but I didn't want to let go of the grace, or because if you've grown up in that world, in that dunya, with poetry and music and dance, it's gonna be like second nature. So, not to say I tried it. ऐसा नहीं है. I tried it on one day, the first day of the song, my solo song, but it didn't work for me. I was better off pretending to be drunk than actually getting a little tipsy.
You wanted to be in control of looking like not in control, which is important, right?
Yeah, and it's a technical job. No matter how much I dance, my dress is so heavy, I have to hit that mark.
Yeah.
I have to look at the people around me, I have to interact, and yeah, that was fun for me to do.
I think it was stunning. A lot has been said about that scene.
Got a very lovely few reviews today. Like someone sent me snippets, like just the last time this happened to me was when that such a different lip sync song, but when I was singing Taar Bijli Se Patle Hamare Piya, in that also the character just sort of travels and has a breakdown in that moment. Of course, not such a big dramatic revelation of a breakdown, but yeah, that was honestly the last time that I got so much love about a moment of weakness.
We're going to continue our chat as more food comes in.
Yes,
Yes.
please feed me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we are glad that we got the right suggestions from Takumi as well. So
Aw,
there you go.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
And good job using paper straws, guys.
Yeah, fantastic.
Nothing like fresh juice.
Isn't it? Before we continue the conversation.
Yeah, sure. So, तूने ही रेस्टोरेंट में बुला के इंटरव्यू करवाने की सोची, तो अब हम चबाएंगे.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. पेट भरा हो तो सब कुछ सही होता है. तो
You're speaking to Punjabi, okay? So I don't even need to hear this. This is
Obviously.
taught to us when we were crawling on the floor.
It's very important that we are well fed and we eat. So it's okay. We continue the conversation like this.
Thank you.
But it looks delicious. Thank you so
It
much.
smells so good. Gotta try.
Just a little. Thank you so much. I want to know, have you been getting cravings for Chinese?
See, I tend to avoid it because most places put a Ajinomoto, but here they don't.
Here they don't.
Yes, bon appetit.
Bon appetit. But
Chalo.
you know, we're going to eat a little and of course
Chat lot.
chat a lot.
Haan.
Looks yum. So we're going to, so I'm going to say this is among your favorites now that you've mentioned it.
Pan-fried noodles,
And
dim sums. Yeah,
water chestnut dim sum.
yeah, I love it.
है ना?
Something about the pan-fried noodles remind me of my childhood chop suey in Delhi, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, we used to have
So
those
yum.
food truck Chinese balls.
And I used to put the food ladder on top of it.
Vans. Yeah, so tasty.
So during the promotions when I met you also, you know, you were at it and you know, all of that, and you were telling me, of course, that you've given, but I could see that it was exhausting. I could see that it was taking a toll because you're in your third trimester and but you were all there in every single thing, which is again something that shows who you are. You know, you committed to something and till the end I see you there.
Thank you.
है कि नहीं बताओ?
Yeah, I just got
Exhausting
exhausted
to tha.
because there was so many in a day. Talking requires you to use your brain and you can get tired.
What I think is the most tedious and so unnecessary is trying to make a whole thing of what maternity fashion should be like. You know, and I feel like
I haven't really thought about that. If you see these clothes I've been wearing,
you've been wonderful and you've been doing and you've been still doing what you would have done. But I feel like there is judgment there. It wasn't enough that women anyways were getting judged for what you were wearing.
Acha.
But they will say,
I get some stray comments on Instagram, sure, by people who don't know. They're like, face is okay, but I think you've gained weight on the belly.
Really?
What am I going to say to this person? That yes, that's what biology does.
Exactly. No, it also brings back to the conversation also, right? Even when post giving birth also, you know, you see, especially because you're from this field, they expect women to go back to, you know, becoming perfect and not even understanding what they go through.
Honestly, I just feel like I'm doing so much more work than focusing on all this. Like, creating new life is not easy. No,
This is
even
this,
for other women, like, I feel like it's a very Kardashian model of the world where they're like, you know, there's a really famous, glitzy, very rich family which is totally like cued into capitalism and like, you know, plastic waste is not a thing that's on discussion there. But like babies are happening, then big balloon parties are happening, and then this like
absolutely.
revenge bomb board. So I don't know if we had that here. I feel like it's a derivative.
I
So I
agree.
don't bother with it.
I agree with you.
Honestly, I feel like it's already this whole conversation about maternity and moms, and a lot of it is derived. I feel like, you know, my mom gave birth and to my brother and younger brother, and she was back at work in about 40-45 days. Given she had like childcare, a creche, and a supportive family that could, like, you know, she used to teach in a college. But I kind of view it like that. I think it's natural. It's like animals in the wild don't have any of the things that we do. They also don't have the trappings that we do, but I don't want to get obsessed about it. I think it's the most natural thing. You create your replacement before you leave the planet. And I just hope I create a good one. That's it.
You sure will. So wonderfully put. My mother tells me that you will not understand the pain of a mother unless you become one and stuff like that. That's a thing that mothers always tell you, right?
And my
how
mom
protective.
said no such thing.
No, to me.
My mom was like, "Oh God, your kittens are so cute." I was like, "Yeah, they are my real babies. You're the nanny for these kittens."
So cute. You are someone who doesn't really get trapped into all of this,
No,
right?
I don't.
You're very an easy person who looks at things like just the way they are. They're like, we'll see what happens. And I think there's so much stress, and there's so much stress already of people giving you advices when you're during your pregnancy. I think that it helps you stay sane when you're like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think you should always enjoy your life, have a good time, eat what you want, hang out with who you want, love who you want, and just be happy. Like, I mean, if there's anything I could change, it would be unsolicited advice from other women who've, like, you know, gone through tougher pregnancies. That's the only thing, because everyone's experience is different. Yeah.
I love the way you put out also the
Matlab?
announcement to the world with that little emoji. That is very you.
Yeah.
Tell me what was going on then. I like the way you put it out.
We actually found out very late because, you know, it can be deceptive, there can be false alarms. But when we did find out, I was like, I think we should just say. Not only because I would have had to, you know, I was in continuity for one film. So the first thing I did was, like, very responsibly, I was like, listen, hey guys, I just found out from the producers that I was working with at the time that, look, this has happened, and I got a congratulatory message, and then we started to figure out life, like something was going on in production, so we were like, maybe we need to push it, and yeah. But this show coming out suddenly, you know, out of the blue was kind of like, I was expecting that it will come out a little later in the year, but it had been in the making for so long, and Sir likes to kind of keep doing an online edit and keep things polished, sort of. Yeah.
I remember there's a post that you had put of this really lovely picture of yours in this gorgeous dress. It was from the reception of Ira and Nupur's wedding. Sorry, not reception, wedding.
Oh, yeah.
This picture of yours.
Yeah.
You know, the story is that I didn't do any press because I was showing a little and I didn't want the press to do the guesswork. I want to know what your thoughts on that.
No, nothing. I just didn't want any guesswork, you know. I just didn't want...
Those same.
Actually, people forget we also have families. So if I... Suppose my mom knew, but my chachi didn't. And I grew up in a joint family. Then I didn't want my chachi to find out via Instagram.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to just tell her. I just didn't want like family to find out from social media. And also I feel like not about me,
Yeah.
but there are so many women in a bodycon dress. Someone will say, oh, she's looking pregnant. Um, it could be just the choice of the woman to wear it that day. Maybe she had too much soya the night before, which is why I'm avoiding it. That's why it's, she's bloated or puffy.
Pariniti went through the same thing.
She could be on her period, for instance, or something, that causes bloatation in the body or makes it appear like something is
There and you're
Yeah.
pregnant.
And what if the woman has a genuine fertility problem? I always think that someone
true.
is not able to conceive naturally or is going through something like a process of IVF or something. There's so many options today. They should never feel like any less. Like what the US press did to Jennifer Aniston, for instance. I think it's cruel.
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't want. I don't want any speculation, not because of anything, but it sort of creates a trend. And if there's so many people in Bollywood who are currently
Yeah.
expecting.
Arre, of
Yeah.
course. And it is true, and they've all.
एक
at some
ट्रेंड
point-
सा चल जाता है तो फिर वो people keep talking about one thing.
You were brought up in a joint family, and you were surrounded by women of different kind, and it impacts you, right? We always, the first woman that we always look up to and try to observe very keenly is our mothers, right?
Yeah.
She was letters to our mom, and I want to understand how you looked at her, how her journey kind of inspired you.
I feel like women only truly understand their moms after a while. I feel,
Yeah.
in the beginning, it's a complex relationship. But of course, needless to say, I love my mom. She's one of the most intelligent and well-read people I know. And I think my sense of, my conscience comes from there. My sense of a very big ease with who I am. My sense of self-worth, my confidence comes from there. She's never been one to be malicious towards anyone. Like not even in passing, not even as a joke, not even as a, like just one stray sarcastic off-color remark. I've never seen that from her. She's a true living practicing Gandhian in the sense that she hopes people will self-evolve and get to a point. So I think only now, I was a very naughty kid. I don't know how she raised me. And she's the opposite in terms of, she's very simple. But I understand when I need to dress up and go out. But my mom wouldn't be caught dead even in a lipstick on an ordinary day like that. So I'm really glad I had that at home, because the way my aptitude was, if I had another mother who was really into vanity, perhaps I would have been better groomed for my first film, and perhaps I would have had the best stylist. But I don't know if I would have lasted so long, because I feel like a function of that is to do with your inner intelligence, how much you want to grow, can you hold a conversation or not. And I bet you feel this problem today if you're interviewing, I don't know, a Gen Z actor who's come from a lot of privilege. It must be hard to deal with the and the likes. I'm really glad that my mother taught me to read and put me in a Katha class and recognize that aptitude, even though it was very different from hers. So yeah, it's just, I'm full of gratitude for her.
It is always complex, the mother-daughter relationship also, right?
We made a film about it. It's called Girls Will Be Girls.
Absolutely. And
No
by the way,
shameless plug, but it just seems like the
keep
conversation
plugging.
is
I want
going
to
there.
say another congratulations has to be made here. We have a Sundance winner, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! But fantastic.
Thank you.
It was, I could see that excitement because I saw your post. We were, of course, waiting for the video that you put out because with whatever. And
I don't know if I knew at the time or I didn't, but now when I look at that speech, I'm like, oh, that thank you speech is so hormonal. I'm like weeping and I can't talk.
you think that, has that been happening often now?
No, but it did in the at that time.
It was a
I
special
think there are
moment.
different phases also.
But I think it was a special moment. I mean, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You have built this whole production house with the sole purpose of trying to push the most special, important stories.
Hopefully.
And stories also about women by women,
Yeah.
a lot of them, you
Yeah.
know, which are still few.
Yeah.
It's a win for all, I think. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I believe in the Ardhanarishwar. I believe in the man and the woman and the the confluence of the energies of Shiv and Shakti coming together. And it's just been amazing to build this with Ali, and it's been so good that how he stepped up. He's shooting at the moment.
Yeah.
And when we discovered we were pregnant, Ali never says she's pregnant, he says we are pregnant. I feel really happy about that.
Yeah.
And when we discovered that this was the case, and 2 months into it, I was like, listen, the show is releasing now, I'll be promoting for 40-45 days, I'll go insane. And he was like, what's the insanity? I said, the insanity is also having to look good on a morning on which I wake up bloated, or I've not had good sleep because of insomnia, or my feet swell up, or I just need to straighten my back because the back aches have started. On those days, what are we going to do? He said, let's divide the work. You lead some projects, I'll lead some projects, and we'll continue. Right now, I've kind of been MIA from a lot of work. But yeah, he's taken over. And we have other teammates who are, again, fantastic girls.
He's wonderful. He is the Shiv to your Shakti. He is the person. Both of you have managed to build that life. It's wonderful, and I know I'm not saying this because I know the two of you. I'm saying this is because genuinely we need to have this kind of energies. We need to have a person like that. We need to have a woman like that and build a life like that together, because it's very few.
इतना सोचने का ही नहीं. We over intellectualize a lot. Then someone will write a self-help book about it. Cringe.
Either one of you is taking that tension and the other one is finding the solution.
Yeah.
And that is how it should be, na?
And it oscillates when he is working, and even if I'm at home, and I'll take that on, and that's how it should be. That's what a partnership is.
Like, have there been motherhood advices that you actually rolled your eyes at? From anyone, from random people?
If it's a question, like I have lots of friends in the industry who have either recently given birth or are basically moms, like like Kalki, like Minnie Mathur, Diya though has just sent me all the baby stuff that she has, because we are both into sustainability, and she really lives the talk. Like, she sent me everything. I'm sorted. I don't have to buy one thing apart from maybe diapers. That's it. I'm sorted, and that's all, because you choose to live that way. It's a lifestyle choice then. Plastic straws versus paper straws, or everything that you do. So Diya, Kalki, Minnie Mathur, exceptional. I just ask questions, and just people are just really, really nice. Yeah.
I remember Diya's recent post as well, when you all met up, and she said there's something about sisterhood and sisters, and which is what we were discussing earlier, which also is the
we did a potluck at her house, so it was very cute. Yeah,
it was. I could see all the fun pictures that she put out.
Yeah,
and some of the most amazing women, just in case we haven't, I'd like to show you the pictures. Some of the most amazing women of the industry who were there. Konkona and
too much talent in one room.
Too much talent. One is sitting right here.
Konkona is again someone I was taking advice from, and she's just like, I admire her so much, her intelligence. I think she's a flawless actor. She's just amazing, and what a good director too. My God. Even
Diya has been so resilient as a mom. Actually, last year I spoke to her at length, and she really told me how grueling her process was, right? Like, she went through so much, and she told me something that she's like this. She told me that I always knew I wanted to be a mother, and I knew that I have that nurturing thing in me, and this ordeal makes me believe that it only makes me more resilient. How do you look at the kind of resilience that mothers around us have? And we've seen so many.
It's such a innate quality in a mom. I feel like it's just something we often overlook. I mean, I think Indians are by a race only very resilient, but moms, particularly here, in the kind of patriarchal setup in which we live, and also understanding that there's a world out there having modern ambitions, having work ambitions or trying to balance the house and the work. It's just ultimate resilience to me. Like, I think, um, I mean, again, gender roles are going to keep shifting in this entire century, we'll see. But a woman's understanding also of like, hey, I have someone visiting me from the family, let me suck it up for 3 days and then they'll be gone. And that way I can live alone with my husband, something like that. It's just how you balance things out in life.
You put out this post once where you said that a drunk woman once walked up to you and said that your husband is so good looking. Does that make you insecure? And then
I think she wanted to take a ride with him, and she was kind of like, oh my god, I'm going to sit next to him. I was like, yeah, okay, go try your luck, babe. But
जो नहीं होगा वो जो आपको लग रहा है
हाँ नहीं होगा. I think that was more about her own personal ख्वाहिश या अरमान, and maybe she was a little tipsy, so she was like, आज कुछ तूफानी करते हैं. I don't know, but I don't take these things to heart. I just feel like for a lot of my female friends also who are dating, say, supposedly very good men or big stars, or there's a lot of negative commentary on social media by other women. That's so pathetic for the women though.
Yeah.
They just look like jealous, like angur khatte hain women. So it's time we got out of that rut of thinking like that.
So true.
Yeah.
But I wonder what Ali's reaction must have been, because he's very, very awkward with scenes with female attention falling on him like that.
No, I think he's great with female attention. He's great with women.
He is.
Yeah. He's inherently shy as a human being, and he likes to keep private things private. But this kind of behavior, I was like, yeah, sure, take a ride. Especially a drunk woman sitting next to him in the car or whatever, go for it. Like, see how that works out for you,
I can only imagine. But no, it's when you said this about how we need to come out of that rut, it brings me back to that conversation that everybody spoke about, which everybody was very glad that, there were people who were bringing it up saying that चिंटू क्या सोचता है किसके बारे में, पर नहीं होना चाहिए. When you stood up for
that clip went viral, and how we were promoting Fukre at the time, I remember. This was a question the audience asked. Just imagine that I have access to film students, and they can ask me anything, and this is the question that came up from a man, that people troll Aishwarya Rai. I was like, she's the most beautiful woman.
Yeah.
I just find it really stupid, because who has the time to sit and comment or take a look at someone else's life? Someone obviously who's villa, jobless, which we know it's a big problem in our country today, joblessness and actual penury. So when I look at a person like that, I'm just like, maybe he has a hole in his underwear or something. He needs somewhere to go and vent. And he saw this gorgeous woman, and he was like, what? She's in France every year? What the hell? Let me hate on her. As if it will make him feel better about himself. But that never happens.
That'll never happen. You'll only feel worse at some point.
Yeah.
Anyway, coming back to this, Richa, who are the women that you take inspiration from around you? There are many.
I'm lucky to be able to hang out with Shabana Azmi. Every time I do, I keep forgetting that she's a legend. Like, she has worked with everyone from Sham Benegal to to Satyajit Ray to Amar Akbar Anthony. It was just fantastic range, always spoken about the right things, and well into this age group is doing like Rocky and Rani and working with Steven Spielberg. I think I look at women like that and I get tremendously inspired. Or Konkana, look at her body of work already.
You're talking about inspiring women in your life, Richa. I also want to know that growing up, how did you see yourself evolve today? Like, you, like the person that you were years ago, and the person who's sitting in front of me obviously has evolved. We all have, we've changed. What are few things that you think have changed for the better? And few things that you miss about that girl with the innocence that she had entered the industry?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? What do you miss?
No.
Okay.
I had such a terrible 20s. Like I was so insecure, and not just, I think people around me also made me insecure,
Of course.
because I think a lot of people, like including female friends, which is why I don't buy this like fake sisterhood notion. I really don't. I mean, feminism is not about thinking that women are not capable of evil and malice.
Sure.
um, I think like when you're that young, when you're like 23 or 24, and you're going to Cannes to be fated at as Nagma Khatun in this cult film, what was to become a cult film later. Um, I feel like a lot of people put you down because they want you to be pigeonholed. They've seen women like you who have as much talent as you, which is kind of like breakthrough in a sense, and they sense it and they see it and they recognize it. And they could be men in their 50s or they could be women in their 30s, and they're constantly trying to sort of, it's kind of like, I've seen people like that who just they see something special and they just want to make sure the limits are put on it. And yeah, so that happened to me a lot. I really suffered at that time. I lost a lot of friends the minute I became successful. People, I used to struggle and audition with, and my flatmate, or, you know what I mean, just like people around you who can't suddenly fathom what has happened. Yeah,
So sad, isn't it?
it's sad, but it's also human nature. We've been raised in an environment to think that if you have good orange juice, that I can't. That there are only 3 oranges left in the world.
Which is what I was saying.
This could be one of those how it started, how it's going.
Yeah, which is why I wanted to say it's wonderful. I saw that shot and it immediately took me back to Nagma ji.
Yes,
And,
Nagma Khatun, who
what a
doesn't
beautiful-
want to get married actually.
Yeah.
They keep asking her, "Kya aapko ye nikah kabul hai?" And she's like,
But I think it's life has come to such a beautiful circle when you look at like this.
Yeah.
From her to this, right?
yeah.
In between, you've stood by your choices. Um, they worked at that time also, and they've aged even more beautifully.
Yes,
And-
I would say that.
And I think that is what you'd hope from this journey. What are your thoughts on my little analysis?
I think that a few years from now, people will look at my filmography and realize that okay, there was somebody who's trying to push the envelope a bit. I'm not saying I'm unique or rare. I feel like there's a lot of people like that, like Tilottama Shom or Tanishtha Chatterjee or something, really unsung heroes of performance.
Yeah.
And I think that they will look back and realize that this was all very, very special to be done in this time, in this way. And I think that's what it should be. Eventually, it's about your body of work. Because I've never looked at cinema like a weekend thing, I know you have collection matters, but
Today when you sit here, building the life that you've built, and you were just telling me about those really terrible times in your 20s that you had to cross through and cross over to a time that you could look forward to, which is better and more hopeful.
yeah.
What did you learn from it?
I'm still as hardworking as I was then.
Yeah.
I'm still willing to put in the hours, learn something new. The only thing is I've become kinder now. Only insecure people are unkind. When you grow in life, and also when life is kind to you, when you see that your perseverance will pay off, and you'll get somewhere in life if you keep working hard, then you tend to be kind. You also have empathy for others who are going through a struggle, whether it's like an actor who's failing at auditions or whether it's just like anybody. So I think I've just become kinder since I was in my 20s, and that's all one can hope for, really. You can't predict success and failure, but you can see what you can do in the world.
You started your career as a young mother at that time when people told you this is the biggest mistake of your life. And
I mean, I only got that part because several other actresses said no. So, but for me, it was a really meaty part with a great arc,
But you never looked at it that way, right, at that time. But After that, they tried to bracket you again in it, right?
Yeah, so I understood why the other actresses said no after the film. I was like, acha, that's why they were not agreeing to do it. Because the industry is very myopic. Yep, I don't regret it.
No, no. How can you regret playing Nagma? Like, it's one of the most celebrated characters of your filmography, and one of my favorite characters when it comes to female characters in the history of cinema. You've been an absolute champion when it comes to climate change also. You mentioned this, you've called it out. You have made those changes in the way you work in your life, whether it's production sets, trying to make less waste, all of that. It does take a little bit more money and patience. It does in today's world. Sometimes it does. But you've managed to do that. I hear a lot of persons say, I'm very afraid of the world that my child is going to come into. And for a person like you who knows and is educated and is informed, have those thoughts come to your mind? And does that scare you?
No, I don't think it scares me, but it drives me far more. Like, I feel like, oh my God, I was so vocal before, now I'll become militant about climate change, Now that I'm bringing new life into the world. And in some ways, I think we will all have to do that. There's not going to be any option. We're in the month of May. Temperatures are likely to touch 50 degrees. It's uninhabitable. And I feel so bad for other species. Like where I live, I've consciously tried to create a little patch of greens so that some birds can come and nest. The city is so hot. Do you only want pigeons and crows? What about the sparrows and the bulbuls and the menas? They're all important. Human beings don't realize how fragile they are. They can be wiped out with a tsunami. I mean, dinosaurs existed for so many millions of years and it took one meteorite. So, we shouldn't take our own survival so seriously. No one correlates like the fact that there's two big wars happening and gradually the air quality has been worsening everywhere. Those things we must look at. And I think it will come to women. Like the sage, wise women of say like a Native American culture where they are revered and prayed to and that are totally in harmony with nature, Mother Earth vibes. I think it'll end up being like that. We have to look at our indigenous communities and how they live and learn from them. वरना हमारे साथ यही होता रहेगा, हमारे मसालों में जहर है.
How you look at the journey with SLB in your life, it's very interesting also. With Sanjay Leela Bhansali, I remember you put that post out, the post SLB and the pre SLB post.
Oh yeah, on his birthday.
Yeah, it's a wonderful post, very honest.
Yeah.
Where you said that people want to work with him because the way he presents women are beautiful, and
it's true. Who doesn't want to be presented like that? But then, if you really surrender to the process, you can grow from it.
They've said that he's an absolute, tough work master in that sense of it, and sometimes for the sake of art, artists have gone through so much of pain and so much of things. Some can't deal with that. They've said that at some time we thought like I remember because in one of the Ranveer had once told about Priyanka that Priyanka was at the state of almost leaving because she was so scared because she had to do the shot. At some time you've been among the ones who always said that I submit myself to the process.
Yeah.
And
not always,
but in this case you did.
Yeah, in this case, I mean, I'm very happy to have a debate also. If the director's a moron, I mean, that can happen sometimes. Or if I'm not getting the proper direction, but in this case, tell me, Rudrani, the film is a director's medium,
100%.
So he's going to tell you to do it 14, 15 hours. Like, I'm not joking. Mriddeep Singh Lamba, who directs Fukre, is also the writer.
Of course.
And it's a comedy. So he's so particular about every comma, every dot, every exclamation, every breath.
Yeah.
That an actor can feel like, oh my God, if I can't do spontaneity, how will I do comedy? It's possible. But it's my job. He's going to ask me, I have to do it 30 times. I can talk to him, I can ask him, कि आपको अभी तक क्यों नहीं मिला? अच्छा, what can I do better? Okay, I can even get upset with him कि यार मुझे नहीं करना. But I have to do it. It's my job. So that part I don't understand. I mean, I did a take 99 times for Mr. Bhansali for this.
99 times?
99 times.
I just want to do this to you. But I don't know. Now when you see it, it's all worth it, na?
Yeah, I feel like he was trying to say something and I wasn't understanding it, or something was missing. So, I'm glad that I don't mind, like I said, I don't mind at all. It's his right to. And about this tough taskmaster thing, yes, he's tough to work with because he has very high standards. But the first person he has those standards from are himself. He wants the perfect frame, lighting, costume, jhumka, flower, candle, extras, everything. So he's already looking at all those elements. Then he'll start looking at you, your performance, your dialogue delivery, your characterization. And he's very perceptive. And I'd probably be the same, yeah, if I had like 300 crores riding on one project. I'd probably be the same.
Fair.
Yeah.
So you said that. I remember this 10 years of Ram Leela mein. You had put out this again, very cute post saying that it gave the best Jodi. Happy 10 years of Ram Leela. Gave us the best Jodi in Bollywood and gave me the opportunity to work with the great SLV as Rasila Bhabi. Please watch us reunite in Heeramandi with some legit magic. I think it's beautiful because it says that the respect has obviously carried on, but you have also evolved in between, right?
Yeah, I was quite it's quite dumb at that time. Very naive. It was my third or fourth film, to work with a legend like that, it was kind of overwhelming. So I had to be very quiet. This time I enjoyed the process a lot more. I don't know about the length of the role and all, or even the song was not the thing, but just to have that conversation with a fellow person about, say, like Meena Kumari or like Meenu Mumtaz, unheard names of the industry, how they lit a particular dance sequence in Sahib Bibi Ghulam. So these are the things that I'm like, talk to me, give me fodder for my brain. That doesn't happen very often. So it makes me very happy.
It was very cute.
Yeah.
And you said best Jodi, and then Ranveer in the comment immediately became happy about
I
it. But
love
it is
Ranveer.
true. The whole romance happened there, which they said, and then we got you.
Yeah. And Ranveer and Deepika also expecting, which is really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have, I feel like, always been a little disconnected, which is why I think you also remain who you are. In the sense of you have not been obsessed about mera kitna PR ho raha hai, mere kaun kya baatein kar raha hai, because you just let your work speak. How have you managed to disconnect is my question. Because
I
it's
mean,
difficult.
honestly, it's about what you want from your life. If you want that role where in a big commercial film you are like the second or third girl, dancing, gyrating, doing something, please send a bouquet to the producer. But I don't want that role. That doesn't interest me.
And because you said that, it reminds me of what conversation I had with Tapsi, where she said that abhi the finale ke scenes ye ho rahe hai ki lot of big action films, you also had said that everybody wants to put in money, and even if you're trying to hope that the female lead would get maybe some interesting role in that, there is a long line of people, and only the ones who are in those rooms with people really pushing them forward will get that role. कि थोड़ा उसमें थोड़ा meat है तो वैसे.
I want to see. I mean, despite everything, Taapsee has managed to make a position for herself and is doing great work.
Yeah.
Her last outing was with Shah Rukh Khan, so I'm very jealous. So there was also Ankur, and there was Tridev, and they both coexisted within years of each other. There was, Sardari Begum, which was released around the, maybe Dil To Pagal Hai. So it's not about it's about the budget of the film. Honestly, now as a producer, I understand this very well. If there's, again, so much money riding on it, and there is that box office pressure, you need that actor whose face is there on like a detergent bottle, to a mouth freshener brand, to whatever. They are the ones with access, they are the ones people see every day. Sometimes they have like 30 years to build their career, and it's unfair, but that's what it is. So it'll ride on that, and then that'll give out. But for the independent stuff, I know independent cinema can do with a little more structuring, syndication, and definitely honesty, I feel. So again, I'm not bothered about this. Do you want a career that's 7 or 8 years with like lots of glitz and glamour, and then you have to fight and no one's gonna even accept you as a good actor? Or no, remember your work. You could be forgettable and replaceable, but So yeah, no, if I wanted that, I wouldn't have started with gangs.
I know that a lot of women who are now choosing that path, a lot of women who choose that path today are looking at your journey as an inspiration, saying she could do it, I can do it. And I think
Everyone's doing it though. Everyone's producing also. Diya was one of the first people to do it. Then there's Alia, there's Tapsi herself, Deepika is a producer, Sonam produces with Riya. There's so many people. Like Kriti Sanan is a producer. Everyone's producing. And everyone, even male actors, we'll get into this game because you'll want more agency.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Our show is called Letters to Our Mom.
Okay.
I wanted to write something here, which right at the end I'll ask you to read it. But take a minute and write a sentence that starts with Dear Mom. It can be anything that you want to feel like writing.
Okay.
It can be a letter that you're probably writing to your future you or to your mom that you can describe and let us know. But it's just like a letter that you're writing to your mom. So this I'm going to open and read it only later or ask you to read it. Okay. You can close it and we'll see it later. You want the food back?
Yes. Thanks.
In the right place where it belongs.
Yes.
So written that, now Richa has written that little sweet letter which we'll read right at the end.
Yeah.
Have you sat down and ever thought or given it any thought when you found out that you were pregnant as to, oh, you know, I'd like to be this understanding, this friend to this person, and have you ever had that conversation?
I just think I'll be a better version of who I already am. Like I'll try to be kinder, more empathetic, understanding, try to be with it in terms of what's happening in the world. That's about it. It should just be natural. You can't pretend to be something else when you're raising a child. You should be, honesty is the first thing that should be there.
It's very well put.
Yeah.
Do you have a message to everybody else? For all the mothers who are there, or even just women?
I would just say be kind to yourself and be kind to others. That's it. That's actually that's the only thing you can do in life.
Okay, our last segment, some fun questions. It's been all fun, but more intense and deep, and Richa is such a good speaker. So I can have these conversations with her.
Yeah, very good eater also.
A rumor about Richa Chadha that makes her really laugh.
There are no rumors only about me.
That's true. Because you're a very honest person.
If you hide, yeah, that's what I was saying. If you're keeping things under wraps, then it becomes whatever, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
A female on-screen character that Richa Chadha would have loved to portray?
I think in the mainstream sense, like I think Gangubai was a very interesting character. And even Queen's character was very interesting in terms of everything that it dealt with, evolution, classism, everything. Yeah.
Okay, well done. If Richa would have not played Lajjo, which other characters would she have liked to explore?
I would have loved to explore Faridan because after Malika Jan, is the most interesting character, and it's like, I mean, to me, all the characters have an interesting graph, but I think like Sonakshi really had fun with it and totally killed it. By the way, looks like fire on screen.
She's beautiful. She's just stunning performance.
Another person who's totally chill, unapologetic, and just doing so much. Yeah, I'm really glad I got to hang out with her.
If you had to pick one work from your body of work that you would like your child to definitely watch, what would that be and why?
I would pick Gangs,
Okay.
Masan, Oi Lucky also. I would pick Madam Chief Minister. I would pick Mayor Charles. It's a very underrated film I did.
I love it.
And I would pick Lajjo, just for a variety to see the range.
Did you guys see? If you have a body of work, then you can say this. So there you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Ali Fazal is going to be the coolest dad. Dash, dash, dash. So 3 qualities. Why?
Because he's childlike.
Cute.
He really wants to have a family and is very creative.
All very important qualities.
Yeah.
Okay. How does Richa define motherhood?
We'll find out.
Like in the definition sort of way of it when you think of it. No, nothing as such.
No, every mother is unique.
Maybe that's the definition.
As they say on Mahim Junction, child gives birth to the mother. So,
If you had to give like one advice to the now, from the now Richa to the one that started, or who was that young girl who was maybe defying, rebelling her own, becoming her own woman, you know, while arguing with her mom, what would you tell her and what?
I never argued with them. Actually,
You didn't? I did.
my parents were so sweet. And I was so naughty that they never found out what I was up to. So I'd just be like, हाँ मैं school जा रही हूँ, film देखने नहीं जा रही हूँ, okay.
So cool.
Yeah.
But what would you tell that girl, from that young girl? That
As
whatever
a
you can
young girl,
remember.
I was very confident and happy. It's only when I entered the industry that it took a toll on me. I would tell her nothing. I'd be like, मस्ती मारो यार.
जैसे हो वैसे ही रहो.
हाँ और क्या?
I love it. Pretty much what you tell anybody else today, isn't it?
Yeah, you do you.
You do you. The best policy ever. Thank you for being who you are and
Thank
continuing
you.
to inspire us with your work.
Thanks, Udani.
I am very excited for you. I hope you get some rest.
Yes.
And hope, let me know. I would, anytime, I don't know if you're having cravings or not, please tell me. I would love to
I
send you
just
something.
did and you fulfilled them.
Yes, I'm happy. I wanted to do it. So I'm glad. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Could you now please read out कि आपने क्या letter लिखा है?
Do you want to read out?
No, I want you to read it out.
I think you should
I
read
should
it.
read it out?
Yeah.
Okay, cute. Thank you.
इसका धागा
This, by the way,
संभाल।
I'd like to tell you that this book is recyclable paper से बनाया हुआ है.
Yes, thank
It
you.
is environment friendly. I would like to put that there. Okay, very cute. Says, dear mom, you're the best. See you for chai tomorrow. Oh, I love it. This is.
Yeah, who's going to write a formal letter?
Yeah, it's cute. No, I'm like, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said take a minute and write whatever you feel like. I love this. Dear mom, you're the best. And see you for chai tomorrow.
Cute,
Simple,
सी।
sweet.
मेरी handwriting देखो कितनी अच्छी है.
That's what I was admiring. Thank you so much, Richa.
Thank you.
It's been such a lovely, lovely time that I've spent with you right now.
Thank you.
You've been busy. Thank you so much. Please take care of yourself.
Yes, thank you so much.
And you know I love you. Lots of love.
Love to you also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.